Coming up on the season 6 premiere of Making Moves, how the JTA is helping the Mayport Ferry stay afloat for another year. We'll examine the JSO's red light camera program. Is it working as planned? How you can stay fit while riding the bus. And we'll go to a wedding reception you have to see to believe. I'm Joyce Morgan Danford. Making Moves starts right now. Hello everyone and welcome to the season 6 premiere of Making Moves. I'm Joyce Morgan Danford. Our top story today, the Mayport Ferry has been one of this area's most treasured possessions for more than a century. But in recent years, budget woes have left the ferry service nearly extinct. Now, as Making Moves' Bill Milnes tells us, JTA has come to the rescue, allowing the ferry to stay afloat for at least one more year.
Its official name is the St. Johns River Ferry. Locals just call it the Mayport Ferry. It's been operating between the shores of Mayport and Fort George Island since 1874 and is the only remaining ferry still operating in the entire state of Florida. But when the Port Authority announced last year it would no longer be in the ferry business, things looked grim for longtime ferry riders like Dave Mudd and Michael Brown.
Well, as a daily commuter, it saves me altogether about 50 miles a day, and not mention the time.
I've been riding this ferry since 1984, and it probably doesn't make a dime of money, but it sure is nice for me.
4 months later, an independent ferry commission took over its operation. But finding a continuous funding stream in a revenue-strapped city like Jacksonville has been difficult. So the commission finally made their way to the Jacksonville Transportation Authority, hoping to get funding to help keep the ferry running at least one more year. Commission member and longtime ferry advocate Elaine Brown says the ferry and the JTA are a great fit.
It's a wonderful partnership. What they're looking at is regional planning for mass transit, and the ferry is an intricate part of that. You know, when you look at what just happened with the Mathews Bridge, and you figure that could happen to a Dames Point Bridge, Sisters Creek, and we will have just another alternate route for the public to use. In fact, it's being used quite a bit.
After pleas from Brown and Commission Chairman John Crescenbenny and a 30-day stay to review the Commission's financial plan, the JTA board voted unanimously to approve a $200,000 contribution to the Ferry Commission for the 2014 fiscal year.
Resources like the ferry are things that really make the city unique. It's a use that you can't find in lots of other places. It's really part of the fabric of our community. And I think the JTA is part of the family, part of the community, and we like to help keep Jacksonville unique and keep it special. And this is one of those things that deserves our attention, deserves our resources.
I think that the Mayport Ferry is one of the gems that we have here in our community. I think that as a transit agency, it's important that we support all modes of transportation. And so I think that, during a time while the city is looking for answers for the best way to sustain the ferry, that it was important for us as a transit entity to be supportive of this initiative.
Sherry Barton is thrilled that the ferry will continue to operate for another year. Barton says the ferry is special to both tourists and locals alike, and for so many reasons.
It adds to the overall experience of coming to Northeast Florida to enjoy the view. Where else in Florida do you have the chance to see the ocean, the estuaries, and going into the maritime forest?
In Mayport, Bill Milnes, JTA, Making Moves.
Riders of the historic ferry now have a 21st century way to track the ferry's location. A new phone app enables ferry riders to get a minute-by-minute snapshot of when it will pick up riders on either sides of the St. Johns River. Mayport ferry riders aren't the only ones getting real-time transit information. Customers of JTA have long wanted a way to track their bus to know exactly when it will arrive. Now, starting in January, the JTA will begin allowing customers on the AR6 route to test the Next Bus system. Using GPS technology, NextBus transmits bus arrival times via satellite to passengers' smartphones, their tablets, or even their computer. If the 3-month pilot test of the AR6 route is successful, JTA plans to roll out NextBus to its entire fleet. After a cargo ship crashed into the Mathews Bridge, damaging a support beam, the bridge was closed to traffic for a month. The shutdown forced tens of thousands of motorists to find another route between downtown and Arlington and created traffic issues all across the south side in Arlington as detour traffic caused commute times to explode. Well, DOT called the damage near catastrophic. Well, when all is said and done, repair costs are expected to reach $3 million on the 60-year-old bridge. One of JTA's new hybrid buses was one of the star attractions at the Florida Alternative Fuel Vehicles Expo held recently at the University of North Florida. Cost savings and environmental benefits are just two of the reasons that the authority is looking at expanding its use of alternative fuels in its transit fleet.
So we're so excited to have these hybrid electric buses at JTA. We just received 7 this year, and we're now looking at converting some of our fleet to CNG buses. And not only does it lessen our dependency on foreign oil, but it's good for the environment. And that's what we're excited about.
Our obvious target areas right now are larger fleets because we've got to create that fuel demand in the region, and the place to go are the larger fleets, the JTA transit fleets, the larger county service fleets, in order to build the demand in the region. And then frankly, then the individual customers just become the beneficiaries of that as stations go in.
Other featured vehicles at the Expo included an all-electric Nissan Leaf, a propane-fueled Dodge Charger, a compressed natural gas-run Ford pickup, and a vehicle that runs on solid waste. Well, red light cameras are the source of controversy around the state, and here in Jacksonville, they're working very well, to the dismay of hundreds of drivers who have actually received citations. Well, since the cameras were installed earlier this year at 20 locations, some drivers have had an up-close and personal encounter with them. We talked to some drivers near the intersection of Atlantic Boulevard and Monument Road to get some insight on the impact of the cameras. When the weather is good, there's always a lot of traffic at this car wash at the intersection of Atlantic Boulevard and Monument Road. This is also one of the busiest sites where you'll find red light cameras here in Jacksonville.
Currently, the #1 intersection is Atlantic and Monument. That's #1.
Motorists we talked to aren't surprised to find that hundreds have been caught since the cameras were installed.
I'm always careful at all the red lights now. Is there a camera at this red light? Because I can't afford the $158 every time.
People are trying to hustle through the light, and even people that try to skip traffic will go to the lane that goes straight and literally stop in traffic to try to butt into that intersection. I've seen a many a wreck myself on this intersection, and I'm sure the more people find out about the lights, red lights being put up, the camera lights being put up, that it'll help and save at least one life.
Well, I do think they're a good idea, especially here because the traffic goes through so fast, and you wouldn't want to get T-boned by someone coming through that fast.
The Sheriff's Department says this campaign, called Respect the Red, is aimed at slowing down vehicles and getting drivers to think twice before running red.
When I look at these 14 intersections, look at my 20 approaches that I have deployed at these 14 intersections, it's showing right now that the number of crashes at these locations are down about 4.7%. So almost 5% we've seen a reduction in crashes at these locations. So again, if our goal is reduce crashes, then we got to be.
After cameras were installed, there was a 30-day grace period before any notices of violations were issued. Soon after that, Darren Reese, who uses this intersection every day, got a citation. But he says this is a family affair.
Unfortunately, I have, I got a ticket in the mail. It's $158, and I wasn't the first one in my house to get one. Everybody in my household has had one of these tickets, so.
No need to be concerned that the red light cameras are taking pictures of your face. They're only taking pictures of your vehicle 6 seconds before and 6 seconds after you run a red light.
Once they receive the notice of violation, they're given a web address or where they can go to put their incident number in. They will be able to see 3 still photographs. One of the tag on the vehicle. The second photograph is with 6 seconds, but 6 seconds before they run the red light when they are behind the stop bar, and then 6 seconds after they have crossed the stop bar and now in the intersection while the light is red. In addition to that, they actually receive their full 12-second video. So they can go look at it themselves and make the determination whether they ran the red light or not.
Remember, the red light tickets will cost you $158. Tickets can be appealed, and you can find the locations of all the red light cameras on the JSO website. That's coj.net. Click Departments and then the Sheriff's Office. Up next, the future of regional transportation plan for North Florida rests in the hands of these 9 people. And how to stay fit on your bus ride to work. That and much more when we come back.
There's no better place to be on game day than Everbank Field watching your hometown Jaguars. And there's no better way to get to the stadium than on the JTA Stadium Shuttle. Single game tickets start at just $7. Buy your tickets online at jtafla.com, at the JTA Admin Building downtown, or at any JTA Stadium Shuttle lot. The JTA Stadium Shuttle, your game day ride for 19 consecutive years.
I just had to come back one last time. You leave home, you move on, and you do the best you can. I got lost in this old world and forgot who I am.
Are you heading down the road of foreclosure, not sure what to do next? Don't worry, all is not lost. You may still be able to save your home, but you have to act now. Here's some important tips from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. First, don't ignore the problem. Contact your lender immediately and know your rights. Read and understand your mortgage documents and learn about your state's foreclosure laws. Do your research. Know your foreclosure options, including loss mitigation. Don't pay for foreclosure advice. It's readily available for free from your lender or calling a HUD-approved housing counselor. Prioritize your spending. Look for ways to cut expenses. And watch out for foreclosure recovery scams and companies claiming they can stop your foreclosure immediately. Whatever you do, don't sign any legal documents without checking with a trusted professional. Still unsure about where to start? Call this number and speak with a HUD-approved housing counselor today. Owning a home is still the American dream, and we're here to keep that dream alive.
We live in a global community where information can be delivered instantly. But having access to information and getting accurate information don't necessarily go hand in hand. That's where we come in. We are Making Moves, the First Coast's premier source for transportation news. At Making Moves, we strive to deliver timely, reliable, and pertinent information about the transportation stories that affect our community. From transit to roads, we've got it covered. Making Moves, now on Facebook.
Welcome back to Making Moves. The journey to a possible regional transportation plan covering the 6 counties of Northeast Florida has begun its final phase. The 9 designated members of the new commission tasked with putting together a master regional plan met recently for the first time. The commission selected officers and is expected to hire an executive director to run the day-to-day operations. Former City Council President and current member Bill Bishop will head that commission. Well, here on Making Moves, we've told you how passengers can really get creative during their commuting time on a JTA bus, like writing a book. Well, we've discovered something else you can do while commuting. Making Moves' Eugene Lindsay caught up with fitness expert Eddie Nelson, who showed us how passengers can modify some exercises and stay in shape while riding the bus.
A brisk walk is a great way to get your heart pumping and a cardio workout going. It's also one of the first things you do when you head out to catch a bus. Fitness guru Eddie Nelson says you don't have to give up your workout just because you ride the bus.
When you come out that house, you can jog to the bus stop, especially the kids. The grown-ups, they can walk fast to the bus stop. That's exercise. That's working out, whether they know it or not. Because you got to remember, ladies, they got the purses, they carrying it. The purses weigh a little something. Swing it from arm to arm.
When it comes to feeling good and staying healthy, Nelson says we've got to keep our limbs moving and the blood pumping. On the bus or off the bus, he shows us how.
I might be decide to work my calves while I'm sitting there, and I'll work my calves. Those are my calf muscles. And I'm just not coming down, I'm not bringing the heel down to touch the ground, just coming down. But those are my calf muscles. And I'm sitting down on the bus. Let's get them wrists. See the bottle of water? You're gonna take a bottle of water anyway, right? Hey, look at here.
There you go.
Just don't bring the back up. Here you go, the hand, the back of the hand. Look at me. Come on, look at me. Come on. You got the wrong knee. Put it in the other hand. There you go. Now, come on. Now just curl it up, but don't bring the wrist up. Don't bring the wrist up. And you feel your forearm. You want them muscles?
And there's nothing difficult about the exercises, but Nelson says they can be effective.
I'll be sitting down there, I'll be looking out the window, and I'll be crunching. Sure. Trying to keep the abs right or whatever. Because you got to remember, your abs are your back. You got to have it. I'm working mine every day, sometimes 2 and 3. So here I am, I'm on your bus. There it is.
And something as simple as your water bottle can be used for resistance.
While you still riding and looking out the window, and you change hands.
Eddie admits the bus is not the place for push-ups, but exercising your mind and body can improve your overall health and wellness.
You'll be shocked to know how good you'll feel after a good workout. No matter whether it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Whether it's bicep curls, calf raises, ab crunches, or walking, time is so precious that even our JTA bus operators maximize their time and turn their lunch or break time into workout time.
On my way down here, I was a little sluggish. When I got to the end and I did those exercises, it lifted me, it uplifted me right away.
Take the step, go up, back, take the step.
For JTA Making Moves, I'm Eugene Lindsay.
Of course, as with anything that's new or different, some people wondered if we were a little crazy with Eddie on the bus, but his ideas are really great and we'll see how it catches on. Well, the holidays are a wonderful time of year for celebrating with family and friends, but there are some people looking for any opportunity to steal that joy. So whether you'll be handling gift bags on the bus or your car in the parking lot, here are some safety tips to help keep you safe. Here's more now from Stephanie Parisi.
Nothing will ruin the holidays faster than having some unscrupulous person take your hard-earned money or having your presents taken before they even get underneath the tree. Former law enforcement officer Michelle Romalde says with a little preparation and awareness, your holiday season can be happy and most importantly safe. Romalde says safety doesn't have to be complicated, it just has to be smart.
If you're standing out in a parking lot talking on a cell phone with your purse dangling, a lot of times that can make you the victim and an easier victim versus a person who got into their car immediately and locked the door.
Safety experts say whether you're walking to the bus stop or to your car, the key to safety is to be aware of your surroundings.
Don't make yourself a target. And there's a lot of things you can do, pre-planning, but make yourself a habit of parking in the right places and teaching your kids the right things to do.
If you're driving your own vehicle, use the trunk to store purses, presents, electronics, and other valuables. It's out of sight and secure. If you're at a bus stop or carrying around shopping bags, place the smaller bags inside the larger ones. It's easier to carry and offers less enticement to a would-be robber. And before you get off that bus, shuttle, or train, think about this.
If you see that your stop's coming up or it's time to get out, you want to make sure, of course, that you're prepared to get ready to go. And as you stand up, looking and scanning the area, making sure that you did get everything, looking under the seat, around the seat, looking in the aisle, and making sure that you have all items.
Shopper Tanya Houston says she takes as many precautions as she can to make sure she stays safe and offers her own suggestions.
Be sure to have your keys out before you exit the building, whether it's a restaurant or a shopping mall. Have your purse closely secured to you. If it has long straps, put it on your shoulders or wrap the straps double around your wrists, and always be aware of your surroundings.
Have a safe and happy holiday, and remember, prepare and be aware. On the West Side, Stephanie Parisi, JTA Making Moves.
Officer Ramoldi says while we're talking about these tips for the holidays, they're actually great tips to adopt for personal safety any time of the year. When we come back, we'll show you what one Jacksonville couple decided to do immediately after getting married. Keep it close, you don't want to miss this.
Staff member ran in and said, emergency, tennis courts, go, go, go. And it just happened. I looked down at my hands and realized I'm doing CPR. This is Jim Hammer, actually a guy that,
well, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this guy.
I had to just give him a big hug. One of the coolest parts of my life, being able to talk to a guy after I gave him CPR.
There's no better place to be on game day than Everbank Field watching your hometown Jaguars. And there's no better way to get to the stadium than on the JTA Stadium Shuttle. Single game tickets start at just $7. Buy your tickets online at jtafla.com, at the JTA Admin Building downtown, or at any JTA Stadium Shuttle lot. The JTA Stadium Shuttle, your game day ride for 19 consecutive years.
Imagine taking a gondola ride through the canals in Venice, experiencing the breathtaking magnificence of the Eiffel Tower, or riding a legendary double-decker bus through the streets of London. For most of us, these are just dreams that will never come true, but they could. Think about saving hundreds, even thousands of dollars a year by doing one simple thing: parking your car and taking JTA instead. Save money, ride JTA, and make your dreams a reality.
Finally, we had a weekend away, and we couldn't wait to see what Jacksonville had in store. We jumped into a cab and cruised downtown. They had a huge jazz fest, and everyone was dancing in the streets. We went to this Riverside Arts Market. There were all these farmers with local fruits and vegetables, and just amazing. We had a private wine tasting, and then we were off to this beer fest, where the locals just took us in and made us feel like one of them. Skyway was a pretty cool way to see the city. We escaped on a water taxi with views that were just spectacular. Then we plunged back into the city for the game of a lifetime. Thing is, we didn't get away from anything. We got away to everything. Have your biggest weekend ever. Visit Jacksonville.
That was awesome.
I just had to come back one last time. You leave home, you move on, and you do the best you can. I got lost in this old world and forgot who I am.
You're watching the award-winning Making Moves, North Florida's premier source for transportation news and information.
A lovely surprise for some Skyway riders one day last month when a newly married couple decided to do something that most newly married couples would never think to do: go for a Skyway ride around downtown Jacksonville. But Stephanie and Soner Akar are no ordinary couple. The pair met through friends, worked together at a big box retailer, and then became roommates before deciding to spend forever together. They also love Jacksonville and especially downtown. So shortly after saying their I do's and with the entire wedding party in tow, they braved the blustery and occasionally rainy conditions to take a Skyway ride.
We live in Springfield and we are huge downtown advocates, so
Yeah.
we just thought it would be a really good way to embody that.
And despite the less than perfect weather conditions, nothing was going to dampen the spirits of this couple on their special day.
Well, as soon as we got done, actually, because of the rain, we had rainbows out as well, so it was excellent.
Yeah.
It was really neat.
I love this. This is perfect. It's great.
And of course, we wish Stephanie and Sonar much happiness in their marriage, and we'll keep a seat ready for you anytime on the Skyway. The legend of music great Ray Charles began right here in North Florida. Charles attended the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind in St. Augustine. So when the U.S. Postal Service unveiled a tribute stamp to Charles, it appropriately took place at the same school where he learned Braille. JTA transported several members of the blind community to this special event where they joined Congresswoman Corrine Brown, students, and other dignitaries to honor the school's most famous alum. Along with his amazing music, Ray Charles's memory now lives on in postal history and in many of the students that are following in his musical footsteps.
All the arms reach out to me. All the eyes smile tenderly. Still in the peaceful dreams I see, the road leads back to you. I said, Georgia.
And that does wrap up this edition of Making Moves. We're so grateful you took some time to join us. Remember, if you missed any part of the show or just want to watch it again, complete episodes of Making Moves are always available online at jtafla.com and on our YouTube channel, JTA 904. You can also find exclusive web-only content on our Facebook page, so be sure to check that out at facebook.com/JTA Making Moves. For the entire Making Moves team, I'm Joyce Morgan Danford. We'll see you the next time we're making moves.
All the arms reach out to me. All the eyes smile tenderly. Still in the peaceful dreams I see, the road leads back to you. I said, Georgia, yeah. Oh, Georgia. No peace I find. Just an old sweet song. Keep Georgia on my mind.